Hi, Shep Hyken here, customer service and experience expert. And today I'm going to discuss 4 tips for ensuring that your customers are treated better. My sister Kim lives in Park City, Utah, and she moved from one home to another about 2 years ago. 4 months later, her water was turned off, and she found a notice on her front door that said she was in arrears with the payments to the water company. Now, she knew there had to be a mistake. She was set up to auto pay the water bill with a credit card, the same card that she had used at her previous home. Well, she immediately called the water company and talked with Brenda Wilde, the water billing coordinator. And Brenda listened to Kim's story, and upon doing a little research, found out that while Kim had filled out the paperwork correctly, it wasn't properly notarized. Now, one can argue that it was my sister's fault. Brenda's focus, however, was on taking care of her customer and immediately activated the auto pay, waived the penalties and interest owed, as well as the fees for disconnecting the water, and of course the emergency reactivation. Now, great ending to a customer service story, but it doesn't end there. Fast forward about 18 months later. Once again, my sister Kim sold her house and purchased another one. This time, she filled out the paperwork properly and the auto pay worked just fine. But for some reason, she was still paying the bills on her old house as well. Now, once Kim discovered that she was being double billed, she called Brenda, who immediately fixed the problem and credited her account. Brenda also mentioned that she remembered Kim from the last incident. Now, just a few months later, my sister Kim was out of the country and received a call from her friend Brenda, who was inquiring about a big spike in the water usage. Well, Kim explained that she'd been out of the country for several weeks and that no one was at home using the water. Well, Brenda offered to look into it further and called my sister back 30 minutes later to inform her that she was actually using, or actually I should say losing, water at about 600 gallons an hour. There was a major leak in a pipe at her home. Now, Brenda immediately dispatched an emergency team to shut off the water at her home. And thanks to Brenda, a bigger disaster, such as a major flood in the basement, was averted. Now, there was still some water damage, but it could have been much, much worse. Well, when Kim finally came back from her trip, she stopped by the water company to personally thank Brenda and drop off a small gift of appreciation. Now, there's several lessons here. First, make it personal. My sister Kim was positively overwhelmed by the service that she received from her local utility company. Her explanation was that Brenda made her feel like she was dealing with a person, not a big company. Number 2, use common sense. In the first billing situation where Kim had her water shut off, Brenda realized that Kim was an honest customer. She'd never missed a payment in the past. It was obvious there was a mistake. So she waived all the fees and she set up an emergency call to restore the water service. Many companies would let policy and process interfere with common sense, but not Brenda. It was obvious there was a mistake with the second house. Common sense says, take care of the customer. Number 3, remember your customers. Brenda recognized Kim's name when she called back a second and even a third time. Was it really Brenda's amazing memory, or was it just a good CRM software program? Well, it doesn't really matter. And finally, number 4, it's just the right thing to do. Finally, the water company is a public utility. It's a monopoly. In other words, there isn't any competition. Yet Brenda saw her way to providing a stellar customer experience. Why? Because it's just the right thing to do. Well, I hope you enjoyed this short lesson. Please be sure to visit my website, which is www.hyken.com. There you'll find more information about my speaking programs, as well as many customer service articles that you can read and share with your colleagues. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is Shep Hyken reminding you to always be amazing.